Good morning, everyone. It's Monday morning. We're going to be playing some blitz and rapid chess here on lichess.org. Hungarian, they say pont.org. lichess.org. Welcome, everyone. It's International Master Slaggy, aka William Paschall. We are playing everything between 5+3 and 7+3 casual. If you want to play, you can challenge to an increment up to 5 seconds with the 5 and 6 minute challenges. But with the 7-minute challenge, it's kind of long, so we'll keep the maximum of 3. My cam is still messed up. I think it's just like the way you're looking at it. You have to have it in 1080, I guess. But I haven't changed any settings here, Troll. Troll and a roll. You have two accounts on. All right. You're confusing me because you're two different people. We got no drop frame rate. I don't know. If you're watching the camera, it should be on like 1080. But anyway, that's really not that important. We are watching the stream. It looks good. It looks good for me. I don't know. You just have to change your settings there, Troll. Yeah, multiple personality disorder. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to get started here. We've got challenges between 5+3 and 7+3. You can challenge up to a 5-second increment if you prefer, which is a secret that not too many people know about. One of our former moderators is here. Blue Crow, good to see you. Troll, only one game for you and your other personality. Troll in a roll, Morales, Fat President, Vodka Drunk. I will take the guys who are subscribers first. We had a simul yesterday. Yeah, where is our moderator? He's sleeping, most likely. Nefedov was here. He sent me a message that I played too perfectly against him, but he's offering draw on like move 16 or something. Yeah, it's possible for me to make it maybe 16 moves without a mistake, but you offered to draw just a little bit too early there, Nefedov. If you waited a couple more moves, I would have. It's a sharp Sicilian position. It's really unlikely that I'm gonna play perfectly there. You got me in the right place, then you offered to draw. The simul was okay. I prefer the simuls when I have a little bit more time, but that's not usually the case. Okay, let's get started. It always seems like I want to play a fianchetto on the queen side whenever I play chess 960. Hey Morales, you mean the simul, almost like standard? 30-30. For you guys, it's actually a good time control. For me, it's like playing blitz games against people continuously. I have to treat it like I'm playing a 5-minute game. That's basically how fast I have to play. But I think for the viewers, you end up, getting the equivalent of like a fast standard game. Unfortunately, it kind of melts down as I get into time pressure. Who is that, Nefedov? You played a rare and dubious variation. What was dubious about it, Nefedov? I mean, rare. I mean, I just don't know about A3. I mean, you like to do that move oftentimes on the white side of the Sicilian, but unless you're like Karyakin and you had your laptop stolen or something, I don't really think A3 is a normal move. I played it sometimes in the Sozin, but it's even there, it's not dangerous. But it's okay, it's not dubious. I wouldn't go that far. I just stylistically don't like A3 too much on the white side of the Sicilian. It seems kind of passive to me. This looks, but I still wouldn't call it dubious, just a matter of style. Well, obviously this is really close to normal chess. For a second I started hallucinating that I was playing normal chess again. He's possibly threatening to play d4, but I can play bishop b5. The bigger problem will be black eventually trying to play e5. And the biggest problem of all is my Queen's Indian Knight, as I've called it in previous episodes. What if I go ahead and do this bishop b5? Just don't play d3 too early. Never have my castle queenside. Yeah, I was surprised by that. It looks dangerous, but actually it's fine. Just stylistically, it's not really like you know, to play like an uber sharp continuation. I still drop a pawn if I do something stupid here. It's always weird how I have the setting different for chess 960 and normal chess. So in normal chess I have to click on the rook. I mean, I click like I'm normally castling. In chess 960 I have to click the rook and I forget when I go between the two. Don't X me. Thank you for the cheer, man. Don't X for me. Thank you for the cheer. It's more fun this way. No one will ever beat that 3,000 cheer. Knight f6. We don't forget. I was a little worried about a rook transfer, but it's kind of early for him to do that. Basically a Nimzo-Larsen system. My rook is not so bad on c1 actually. Not that bad. Troll really made his look. He made his rook look good. Has lateral mobility. It's useful on the c file. It is blocking his bishop temporarily. Alright. Yeah, b5 logical to get that bishop into the game. It's like a BOGO Indian now. I just hope he can't play c4. I was counting on some sort of primitive defense against that. Take, knight e5. But it could be complicated. Maybe he has some sort of pawn sacrifice like c4, bc, dc, dc, knight e5. It's possible there is a way to, you know, put together the long diagonal threats with the d file to create a valid pawn sacrifice for black there. Anyway, guys, if you're new to my stream, I just really try to concentrate on making instructive streams where we can really try to improve our game and learn from it. Although I kind of mess around and have fun and joke sometimes. Basically, the focus is on constructive approach to learning about the game. I'm really glad that most of you guys appreciate and enjoy the stream. I had a comment there from, where was it? No, I lost it. But anyway, guys, Don't X Me said great streams, so that's what I was talking about. But anyway, MBD2, NBD2. It's a good setup for white, but I've traded off my bishop. This is basically a BOGO Indian. You know, d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, bishop b4 check, with colors reversed. And in many cases in those kind of lines, like you trade off your bishop and you don't double the enemy pawns, like in a Nimzo Indian or something like that, it's not really clear that I have enough kind of like long-term compensation to offset the fact that he has this unopposed bishop on the long diagonal. That thing can do a lot of damage. Normally you're talking about colors reversed, but some sort of, you know, pawn sacrifice with d4 to open the long diagonal. I don't mean now, but later on at some point in the next like 15 moves. I mean, the possibility of that bishop becoming a really powerful piece is there. Good wrap. I never did I never did try rap. We go back a long time to like the LL Cool J generation. Public Enemy. Rap is pretty old school. I'm just kidding. Anyway, my chair is still not assembled. I was supposed to do that, but I was too tired this weekend. Alright. Knight on BD2. Troll is going to lose on time. That's his usual modus operandi. This is kind of unexpected. He's also blocking his rook transfers laterally. I mean, okay, it's a solid move, I guess, countering my fianchetto, but it's kind of time consuming, and now I almost feel like it's good for me in a way. Like if you know, how can I put this? Essentially, like what might happen is like bishops are traded on the long diagonal, like it's a Queen's Indian. But if I can play with knights against bishop and knight or something like that, it's not really a problem. My big concern would be like facing the two bishops. Of course, it's a very close position with all these pawns on the board. Knights are good pieces here. Knights are good pieces. Good peeps. Not a very exciting situation though. E4, we could try to open it up, but that's almost insane. If you think about it, E4, to liberate that bishop on A8 seems kind of crazy. I was also thinking about C4. But you really have to look at the position and visualize this bishop being an unopposed piece. Then I'm thinking, okay, you know, I'm sensitive. My position's kind of sensitive on the white squares a little bit. I don't have a white squared bishop. If I play like C4, I mean, is this pawn going to become a weakness because there isn't a white squared bishop on E2 or something to protect it? You know, this is the sort of stuff that goes through your mind. Black has to be a tiny bit better here. The problem is, I mean, I could always do like D4, but I would rather not do that with my bishop trapped inside the pawn chain. It's like I want to improve my rook, but I'm not sure that's a good move. It's just not an easy position to play. I don't really know what the right plan is here. You could play knight e5. This is in the spirit of the Nimzo Larsen attack with white, but I don't really have a strong follow-up. You know, what am I going to do? F4, fine, you can do that. Anchoring the knight on e5. What's my plan here ultimately? I mean, I almost have time to play like f4, f5 and start attacking him. Rook c8 is kind of passive, but what's he going to do? Put it here, which would walk into this. Here I could play knight g4. Just play structurally. I also have knight f3. Then he has time for knight f3. Bishop g7, knight g5 castles. It doesn't look like my attack is realistic there. But after knight g4, I feel like I'm selling out my whole position. I just don't know what to do. Knight f3, knight g5 is nothing. f4. He could play d4 at some moment. I could also play c4, but that opens up his white squared bishop. f4, d4 looks pretty good for black, actually. He can recapture either way here. I just didn't come up with a good plan. I think that black is probably better. First game of the day. I didn't know what to do. I really want to put my pawns on dark squares. I think he should have taken the other way, though. This is okay. I think he should have kept the bishops on. Probably. His space compensates for the pawn structure, definitely. His bishop is bad now, and I have more. I have better structure. He has more space, but I still think that black is at least equal here. There's certain problems. He has this. Alright, queen takes a2, rook a1. The troll doesn't really calculate. He just plays on strategic intuition. So at this point, it wasn't really enough not to calculate. I'm just kind of lucky. I mean, he had lots of continuations that were probably good for black. He's found one of the only ways to drift into maybe a worse position. Knight d6 in the air. Alright, b4 is interesting. I'm going to keep him from winning that pawn back. I just play queen c2. Yeah. Queen c2. Well, if I have one more tempo, he's hopelessly lost here. But I don't have it, so does he have time for anything like rook c7, rook c8? Rook c7. I was thinking about a3 just to somehow get to play a move that doesn't do anything, knight b1. So rook c7, what do I do? Queen c3 there? Yeah. And then I'm happy with sacrificing my a2 pawn. I don't mind. In fact, his queen is probably trapped if he does that. Okay, f6 is hanging. I'm not sure, but I think he doesn't want to lose that. Probably can go into an ending a pawn down or just lose his f6 pawn. Then my queen and knight is good. This looks really bad. Probably just lost. But he misplayed this position really badly. I think he had an excellent game. So I thought we both played well until I played knight g4, which I wasn't really happy with as a move. Computer recommending c4 here, which is really double-edged because it opens up his bishop on the long diagonal. I played this, which obviously doesn't develop any pieces. So in this position, he should probably take back with the pawn. The computer kind of defines this as the key moment where the advantage is lost by black, it looks like. Keep the bishops on the board, basically. I know your bishop on g7 is blocked, but there's still a theoretical chance. Still a theoretical chance you could get to the ending with two bishops on the board. Your bishop can leave, you know, it can go to like h3 or f8. These are typical ideas in Queen's Indians, where you try to avoid the exchange of bishops. That might be an option, you know, try to keep the bishops on the board by just moving to a new diagonal. Anyway, it's just an idea. So anyway, to you, his position was calling for aggressivity. He contends himself for simplification. Well, I think I kind of, you know, I wasn't happy with what I did. I wasn't happy with what I did, Morales, but I was burning up on my time. When I got to this point, I had like 3 minutes to start, but I was down to under 2 minutes, so I didn't really know. I didn't like c4. I didn't know. Yeah, calling for aggression. I mean, f4 is a normal move, but I just didn't see what I'm going to do next, you know, and like knight f3, knight g5's just all kind of artificial. I was afraid of f4, d4 for black. I viewed this as kind of a serious positional threat from black here, so wasn't too happy about that. That's one of the reasons why I think c4 was a good move. Basically, Stockfish concluding that like c4 is the only good move for white. But it's risky because, as I said, we do liberate his bishop on a8. Alright, Morales is up next. Not really, you know, a great position for white, ultimately. But maybe I can almost maintain equality. If I had like one more tempo, I think it would be an attacking position. But just didn't see it working there. San Diego, what? My opponent usually plays d5 as black after my d4 London. Well, everyone has different levels of aggressivity in their style. Is it distortion of my face cam, my connection, or everyone? Yeah, everyone's saying, a lot of people are saying that. Do you have it set for the source changed to 420 to 720? So everybody's different. I don't know, when I look at it, it looks fine. But several people have complained about how the video camera looks. I think it depends on your settings. If you should have it at 1080, then it looks okay. My output here looks great. Yeah, I can change the settings, but it's too late to change them while I'm streaming. I'd have to stop the stream and start it again. My frame rate is really low. Morales, I I forgot that you guys, you also played this bishop e5. Bishop c4 has gone out of fashion for white. Used to always be the move. Till really, there are two sources of this bishop e5 variation. One is Roman Djindjiashvili in his videos in the second half of the 1990s, and the second one is there were some English players who advocated this line. I mean, Roman's move was bishop d3, but I think that's okay. It's playable. I think this idea of castles is probably better. But it was really like English players. There was a guy, Byron Jacobs, I think that was it, an English IM who was like a chess author. I had a number of games with him in this line. This is my new approach, but it's pretty risky. But I came to this a6 b5 after trying pretty much everything else. And it seems like, as in as in the last game with Troll, what we're trying to do is to really profit from our unopposed bishop, this white square bishop. So the whole game is sort of built around this piece being very powerful in the long diagonal. And then we play basically Pirch style. Not castling. And therefore white's attack, you know, isn't as powerful as it might be if I was castled into it. Is the French defense always e6 for black, no matter what white opens with? No, I mean, if white doesn't play e4, it can't be a French defense. So here's the possibility of taking on f5. I think we had this the other day. If I take on f5, white has a very strong pawn sacrifice with knight h4. So I can't remember if I played queen d7 or knight f6 last time. Knight f6 looks a little more fundamental at this point now. I mean, is the knight ever going to h6 anymore? Probably not. Once he's played f5, there's no more e5, knight h6, knight f5. Now my knight is never going to h6. Queen d7 looks dangerous. Although I have dared to do that in a game or two. I think we really have to go here now. So queen h4 I can take on f5. There's no knight h4. Isn't this what we had before the other day? Now there's queen g5. The other possibility is queen d7, but that allows for what, e5? No. So I have a choice. But I like taking to open the g file. This is part of our plan by delaying castling. Actually, I had a very similar game against one of the players in the Tuesday tournament, I think. This Derndatch guy plays extremely well. But I mean, I don't recommend this sort of setup to beginners. I mean, you have to be really strong, I think, tactically, you know, and careful to be able to justify leaving your king in the center. I wouldn't recommend anybody under like 1800, under 1700, let's say, trying to play this way with black. It's just too risky. You have to be living on the knife's edge here. I'm not exactly adhering to classic principles. Now, Morales, are you copying that game? Isn't this exactly the way that other guy played? It's just my imagination. It wasn't you I had this game with, right? Rook g8. This is like exactly the same as the other guy. Bishop takes h6, queen takes h6, pawn takes e4. But I start to open lines. I almost just open lines for him. It's an important decision. Is it better to take on h6 or play rook g8 here? This queen's not really hurting me on h6. I could also just take and play queen d7. That looks like a solid option. But then I have to be able to answer pawn takes f5. Queen takes f5, which looks okay, actually. Is it better to take and take on e4? Take on h6, take on e4. He takes back. I guess. Alright. I just can't remember all of my games. I mean, did I play with Morales in this? I was going to just take here. Multiple pawns sacrificed by white. Obviously, I'm not castling kingside. Usually I put the queen on d7, but I'm beginning to wonder if that would be actually a mistake here. We ought to consider putting the queen on b6. I think I'm being a little bit like one-track mind with always putting the queen on d7. I need to get my king out of the center ASAP. There are some benefits to queen d7 though. Going to g4, checks on d4. I have b4 here, winning another pawn, but I feel like it's a little bit too materialistic. I don't know, he's playing super fast. But I decided to play this because I didn't see a good answer for white. I mean, he can't just give me his whole center. e5, knight g4, that's a problem. So e5 I have to take it. But that's okay, probably. I just take it. e5 doesn't really do anything. Okay, he can try to sacrifice the house with e5, pawn takes pawn, rook d1. But I don't see what that does either. So many people play this line against me. I can think of like 5 or 6. It's like our most popular variation. Okay, Morales, 95. Now I figure we just take and take with the bishop. He's 2 pawns down with some compensation. In fact, I don't have to take the pawn right away. I mean, maybe it's logical to play queen d7 or something. This I have to play. Rook f8, or else king d7. I mean, king d7 is not a ridiculous idea. But maybe I should play queen d7 rather than bishop takes d5 just to get castles more quickly. Bishop takes d5 protects f7. It looks good, but he has knight g5 and ideas of knight takes h7. So queen d7 looks maybe more practical. I've got to imagine this is good for me somehow. Queen g4. No, I'm about to lose on time. That's a bit of an issue. Lots of checks. Not clear whose king is safer. I thought I was up material, but it all melted away. Now we have the same amount of material. He's got a check on f5, unfortunately. I thought I was better, but I'm not so sure. Alright, I guess it's only equal. Yeah. I don't know what to say, I guess GG. I had this idea I was better. I was going to have tactics with rook takes g3. But then you have queen f5 check, which is what I missed initially. I would have played rook takes g3. If my king is on b8 or something, I'm probably better. Apparently I was winning. Wow. I can play this. Rook f8. Oh, I have bishop takes g2. Wow, there's all sorts of crazy tactics, but I had no time. Wow, that's insane. Bishop takes g2, knight takes bishop d5 check, king f1, bishop c4. I never would have found this. So Morales, your fast play saved you there, because I didn't have time to find the best moves. Gonna play Plucro, the other subscribers. Good game though. It was fun, interesting. A little too fast for me. You did not play the finest moves, but you were practical and fast. I mean, there's a certain value in that. Some people take it too far, but you then used your time. You know what I mean? It's not like you just rushed and you played and you didn't use your time. You just played faster than me in the beginning. Then you started to take your time at the end. But I was in time pressure, so I couldn't find the best moves. This is a very important concept. Okay, Plucro. San Diego C, thanks. Thanks for the cheer. Don't X me as well. Getting on a leaderboard there. The cheer leaderboard. Okay, it's been a while since I played Plucro. I'm sure that I've played the modern defense against him before. He usually plays crazy, creative chess. Okay, c5 is one line. I lost a really bad game against that Derndatch guy again. I think was it Derndatch or Santa Claus? I don't know, one of these Serbian guys. They played bishop e3, pawn takes pawn, bishop takes pawn. Well, how was that? It was a different position. No, it was that. It was bishop e3, pawn takes pawn, bishop takes pawn, knight f6, and then knight, a weird move. No, e5, knight h5, and then knight e2. That was it. We haven't played one of these. I don't really think that I trust this opening that much for black. It's a Schmid-Benoni, basically. Tushar. Fast openings. Okay, Morales. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Were you just following my game with Derndatch, or was that a game we had before? No, I can't remember. It's been so long. I probably played like 50 games in that variation. We just played last game, but they all kind of merge into one another after a while. It's a risky system for black. Bishop e2. Knight f6 I lost. Knight f3 I lost to Mark Hebden in this. He played something very simple against me, like kind of correct. Knight f3 castles, or knight f3 castles rook e1 maybe. Now a4 is logical to stop b5. But it should strengthen my e6 idea. I mean, a4 costs time, and when I break in the center, the a4 move looks... The a4 move looks a little bit irrelevant, in some sense. Now h6. h6 can't hurt. We make him decide which diagonal he's going to be on. Okay, now g5, bishop g3, knight h5. I'm a little concerned that I'm losing material there on the d6 pawn. Pawn takes d5, knight takes d5, g5. Knight takes f6. He's going to lose b2 in a lot of lines. That doesn't seem right for white. Once we make him declare his diagonal, declare your customs duty here, then we can decide on a plan. If he had chosen like bishop f4, maybe it would be different. Now I do g5, and we don't have to do g5, but grabbing that bishop is probably going to be necessary. Otherwise it becomes a very strong piece. So it's similar to a King's Indian. Bishop is pressurizing the base of my pawn chain. We have certain white square weaknesses. I play a lot of bishop g5 systems with white against the King's Indian, so thanks for streaming. Stay in good health. We need your streams so we become IM and GM. I'm hoping to stay in good health. Now, when you're 39, you get feeling like you're ancient. Guys, I'm going to be playing in a tournament in here in Budapest in April. So the stream will be down for like 9 days basically between April the 18th and the 26th. But I don't know. I mean, that last variation, Tushar, who originated this crazy attacking stuff? Now, Pukro, you're not seriously going to castle queenside in the Benoni, are you? I wouldn't put it past him. It's really asking for trouble. Queen d3 is particularly bad here because of knight a6. This looks sort of devastating. That natural square on b4. Anyway, I needed to get my knight out, but you still have time to just admit that queen d3 is a crazy idea. Admit that queen d3 is a crazy idea. He's setting up some kind of cheap mates too, like knight takes g5, queen takes g5. He's trying to do like a discovery on h7, and I didn't even really think about it at first. He's setting up these cheapos. But our pieces look so good. Both knights actually on the side of the board with beautiful potential to go toward the center. This looks good. So guys, please bear with me while the stream is down in April. But just 9 days. My rating took a hit. I lost like 20 points since December. It's just so embarrassing. I can't possibly get any lower if I tried. I don't think I could lose rating points if I tried. There's no way I can go under 2350. I just couldn't play that bad. Isn't President the closest from players to get the title? Well, President said that he was qualified for CM. He's gone now. Oh no, there he is. Candidate Master, 2200 by FIDE. If you've crossed 2200, I guess you can get the... Well, what is it? Do you have to just cross 2200 once, or do you have to have 2200 when you apply for the Candidate Master title? I don't know, Tushar. I was just talking about the... uh-oh, there it is. I was talking about the opening from last game again. There are some serious problems here for white. Taking on c2. I'm just checking if I have anything cute. Well, we have g4. That looks pretty nasty. Ouch. Okay, he still has queen e4 there. But isn't his queen trapped? It's not quite trapped, oddly enough. It's actually not quite trapped. It's almost trapped. It's almost tempting to play knight f6. It's actually funny, you can't really trap his queen here. It's strange. It looks like it should be trapped completely. If I take on c2 first, and then play g4, I guess I'm winning a rook. I can't complain about that. Winning a rook is probably good. I guess he could trap the rook on a1. It looks like what he's going to do. Queen b1 there. I didn't calculate this far enough, but I think I'm just lucky that I have knight takes g3 check and f4. Better to be lucky than good. He's still playing on out of proverbial momentum. Yeah, not a good idea to try to set up that queenside castling. Okay, I mean, it didn't seem that bad, the setup itself. Like bishop g5, Egon Varnus, Hungarian. Not just Ghostbusters does the name Egon exist, but it's not a Hungarian name. It's I guess it's like a German name. I don't know, is it? Egon, it's not a normal Hungarian name. I mean, it could be, but if it is, it's like extremely rare. Egon Varnus. I know Rovid Kalman. It's like an old FM, but Egon Varnus wrote a book on the Caro Khan. E takes d5. Varnus is Hungarian. E takes d5 was played. But I innovated here with h6, making him declare his intentions first. Then he played bishop h4. Now I take on d5. This looks good. Alright. So we got lots of challenges, guys. Thank you for subscribing. Dominorbi. Sounds like a Hungarian as well. Though it doesn't have to be. I guess Norbert is more universal. Haberbaum. If you don't know, I live in Budapest, so I'm like an adopted Hungarian. Okay, Haberbaum is d4. I'm American, obviously, but I've been living here for a long time. Hiding from I don't know what. d4, knight f6, c4. Haberbaum and I have had a lot of Nimzos. He's also played King's Indians. I've tried against him. Let's try. Well, I must have tried this last time. Yeah, I did this against him last time. He reacted with knight c3, e5, and e4. We had an interesting opening, then he blundered. Maybe he's looked it up. A sort of old Indian. I can also transpose back to normal King's Indian lines. I was influenced by several factors in choosing to play this line. It's credited to Ukrainian masters, and my friend Igor Foigl used to play it all the time. But Igor's a strong positional player. But Nesmedinov had a lot of games with this, and there's some really cool games that he played. I highly recommend him. You want to get his book. The Tatar Master was great, a great player, very beautiful victories against many world champions. Okay, knight f3 is like the best move. I play this kind of dubious variation here with e4. Maybe the only really good way to play here with black is to play knight on bd7. And you can transpose to an old Indian or some kind of knight on bd7 King's Indian. That's more reliable. e4 is very risky for black. It's not really a safe line. e3 is underrated. Most people play knight to g5, but it's possible that this move is actually, I mean, knight d2 is actually better. It's very possible it's actually better than the other move, knight g5, strangely enough. It looks passive, you know, when you're playing the white pieces to play knight d2, and it feels much more macho to go like knight g5. And I always play the line with knight g5, but looking at it with the engine and actually playing games over the years, it's very possible that knight d2 is even more problematic. I left, yeah, I guess President Bush was still president when I left. Yeah. No, I was just kidding. I mean, people used to ask me all the time, why do you come to Hungary? It's still my most popular question on the stream. No, I just came here to play chess. It's not, I wasn't running from anything. Queen e7, 2004 in fact. So President Bush was president. Alright, f3. Wow, now wait a minute. Wait just a minute here. Okay, bishop g6. There are important pawn sacrifice ideas in these type of positions. But I would assume like knight c6 would be right. But there's a problem. Knight c6, pawn takes pawn, knight takes d4, queen d3, and he wins a piece. So I can't just do that. And I also can't just lose a pawn for nothing. e3 is bad. Bishop g6 is kind of a normal idea. But it feels like I'm just losing a pawn. Again. Okay, so I don't like this. What's wrong with this position? What did I do wrong? I don't think I had any alternatives. Oh, maybe I messed up here? Could I have played knight c6 a move earlier? Oh no. Is it possible I had to do knight c6 first? Instead of queen e7? I don't know. He can take on e4, then I take once, play knight takes d4. Yeah. But then he has like queen d3 and it gets pretty weird. But it's possible I should have played knight c6 a move earlier. Now we've got a problem. Well, I'm just going to have to be down a pawn. I mean, I don't know. You did, Polgar. I'm not into her fashion style, man. She just doesn't dress cool enough. Sorry. F takes e4. Well, at least this way I have some kind of lasting compensation, I hope. So knight takes d4. There's no tricks there. We have issues. Yeah, my position is sort of busted. I guess there's no question to it then. I mean, I had to play knight c6. It has to be knight c6 the previous move. I just flicked in queen e7 automatically. Problem with playing too many openings is that you can't remember them all. I don't care that I'm down a pawn, but the problem is that my queen is on e7 and I can't go bishop g7. Maybe I made a mistake even with bishop g6. Here I should probably play bishop d7. I compounded my problems. But Haberbaum played d5, which is definitely strange from a strategic standpoint. He's giving me a big square at e5 that doesn't seem necessary. I don't mind that I'm down a pawn because it's a doubled pawn. Not that bad. But what I do mind is that I can't get my pieces out. We have that serious issue. He's not really hanging c4, but the e4 pawn looks... Can we get reorganized here? It seems strange to pull my knight off of e5. That was my only good piece. Can what? Take knight, he retakes, you check with queen. I know what you're talking about. Knight takes c4 is impossible because of queen a4 check. I'm not sure if that was what you meant, but... We've got a lot of problems here. This queen is in the wrong place because the bishop needs to get out. Ah. Whoops, what did I just click on? Alright, my own profile. Okay, we're out of here. We're only down one pawn. It's ugly, though. Haberbaum plays the opening really well. Caught me off guard here. Totally messed me up. Okay, but it's a good line for white. You know, there's few strong players have played this line for black. Luke McShane is like one of the only ones. He lost pretty badly, I think against Caruana or someone in this variation. Trying to play this against a 2750 plus player is a really bad idea. It's the kind of line that's sort of dubious. You know it's sort of dubious, so you shouldn't play it against a strong player. You know, you play it against weaker players or maximally like someone your own strength. But McShane like trying to play this with black against, I don't remember. I think it was Caruana. I mean, even in a rapid game or something, that seems sort of inane. Okay, bishop e7. Ugly position, but maybe it's not that bad, is all I can say. Trading off our bad bishop would be nice. Okay, his doubled pawns aren't so good. You know, he's actually got holes in his position, e5, c5. But his space advantage is meaningful. Really, he should try to play like bishop f4 here if he can do it tactically, not to trade pieces. He doesn't want to trade pieces. With a space advantage, and plus my bishop is a bad piece, but my bishop can live now. It can come out to f6. Could also play bishop h4 check, loosen up his position a little bit. I don't know. It's possible that g3 is actually a constructive move for white, and I'm just doing this for nothing. I don't like my position at all. He has too much space. He could have played knight takes, but I think this is the best. We have very good control of the e5 square, but that's all I've got. He has a bad bishop. Mine is equally bad on g6 in a way. Just completely spatially compressed. Look at white's center, man. I mean, his center is just massive. So many central pawns and controlling all the squares. Castling queenside. Can't really blame him for castling queenside, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of endgames where I could be fine. You know, rook endgames where his double pawn doesn't matter. But I'm very curious to look it up after the game. I mean, it has to be knight c6. There is no other move for me in that position. I wonder about bishop takes here. Preserving the c5 square for my knight might be interesting. So my pieces have room to work. But on paper, maybe I should take with the knight. Now I feel stupid for going bishop takes. Just leaving it there. Here I can play bishop h5. It's an interesting idea. My g6 bishop is just useless. Absolutely useless. Of course, now I can go knight d4, and I've not pinned him. I'll probably have to think about going back to g6. So I'm happy to get rid of that. And we've got an opposite colored bishop position. I don't think his extra pawn means too much here. It doesn't hurt to have an extra pawn, an extra double pawn, but realistically, white is still slightly better. Maybe I should play c6. But I can never take on d5. I have to play g6 to keep his knight off of f5. That's just not allowed. And now I don't really know what to do to make progress. Realistically, can just try to win on time. So c6 is sort of risky. c6, rook c8. I can't play rook c8 without allowing rook takes f7. I have takes, check. He wins the exchange. He's going to have a lot of play there. Bishop takes, pawn takes, knight check, take, with a pretty good exchange sacrifice. This is like a simul game I lost against Mary Lou. He has to sack the exchange there on b3. He just wasn't really thinking about it. Or he didn't see the fork. You know, that exchange sacrifice looks like white is at least okay. Now it's like white doesn't quite have enough compensation for the exchange. It would appear. It's still not that easy. But I've got to be happy with this. Realistically. Wow, h4. Strong move. You gotta get rid of him. I'm losing a pawn back. Pin it and win it. That was an unfortunate move. Now he loses all his guys. Better to take on b3. Okay, I just want to have a quick look at the opening to verify what an idiot I am. It's a good variation for white, though. This is a serious problem. I'm surprised like Queen C2 hasn't been played before. I mean, much. Only 2 games here. Raymond Keane in 1979. I never would have guessed the best move is Queen D7. That's a TN. Thanks to Stockfish, but strange. It's strange how few people have played Queen C2. I mean, it practically wins a pawn by force. That's really weird. Rachmanov playing this for black. Strange as well. Movsesi and Leboyevich. Andreikin. Andreikin, not a good idea to play this opening against Kamsky. That was back in 2007. Okay, but Queen C2, wow. So I thought that this must be the right move, but I guess this doesn't work. No, it's playable. This looks bad as well, so weird. Okay, Keane and Slinikov. Slinikov played my move. Dubious, according to Stockfish. Vasyukov played this back in 1973. F3, Swapnil versus Lalit. This is a very recent game between these Indian grandmasters. Looks like black is already like basically lost after F3. Lalit did exactly what I did. He's 25-84. Now knight c6. Apparently c5 is a better move. Oh no, Lalit did that. Okay, c5 is a better move. This looks like the best try. That structure might be better if we're going to lose that pawn. Good decision there. So queen e7 is no good, but Stockfish finds queen d7, defending the bishop on f5. And now, if you take the pawn, what is the reasoning behind this? Knight takes e4, knight takes e4, and are you kidding me? d5? Wow. This is some crazy stuff, man. Check, bishop d2, king d1. Man, this is crazy. This is better for black. So thanks to Haberbaum, we discovered something new. Queen c2, queen d7 is the only move. Even g6 is better. That would avoid what happened in the game. If I'm going to lose a pawn, I don't want my bishop to be smothered on f8. But this is an unknown move. Queen d7 and black is okay. e3. And it still looks like I'm losing a pawn. c6, but now it's really a threat. You know, I simply have d5. Okay, we'll file that away in the memory bank and hopefully I don't forget. But yeah, I mean, he played well. He was good. He's just up a clear pawn here. But I feel better knowing that Vasiukov actually did this as well. I mean, he managed to draw against Donner in 1973 from this disaster position. But as I said during the game, it might be better to actually play bishop d7 than put the bishop on g6. It's sort of perverse, but because at least it's still horrible though. Either way, it's horrible for black. I don't know how he managed to draw against Donner. That's ridiculous. All right, Fat President Vodka Drunk, you guys aren't subscribers. If there's any of the subscribers, I'm going to play them first. So Tushar Hamday first, then I'll start taking the other challengers. On Fridays, guys, I'm doing Fast Friday, so we can play all the challengers regardless of their VIP status. White was good, you know. White played a good game, but Hyper has a comment there in the chat. No, Haber. He is Hyper. Hyperbomb. Hyperbomb actually plays the openings extremely well. I think he's really working on his openings. B6. Yeah, why not? I mean, B6 is good against everything. It's not so good against E4. But pretty much everything else. The problem is I can play E4. But it's not quite as good with my knight on f3 to play these e4 Owen defense. The best variations against Owen defense are with the early knight c3 and queen e2, and not so quickly playing knight f3. So if I do change plans and play e4 on move 2, I can't get like the most aggressive setup against this Owen defense. So I guess I'll just transpose to something else. Here, e4 is a kind of weird Sicilian. I've had some games like this. I don't know what you classify this as, an English opening. If c5, it's a Sicilian defense. If no c5, then it's a kind of English, I guess. English or English defense. English opening or English defense. This is just a passive move. It's kind of now it's just a hippopotamus. So hippopotamus is hippopotamus, but it doesn't, you know, it doesn't scare me. Let's see what he wants to do here. If he does something like knight g6, I might have h4. So no, it's hippopotamus. h4, h6 is the idea. After all the years of playing chess, I still don't really have a good system against the hippopotamus, even though I've played it, you know, myself with black in certain opening move orders. I used to play it in the English defense when white would play a3, because a3 is sort of a wasted move. Still, the hippopotamus is sort of dubious no matter what, but it's hard to crack it, you know. That's the thing. I mean, nobody's arguing that it's good for black, but it's just not that easy to play against. It's really closed. So, not that simple. There's a lot of different possible ways to play here. You can kind of view it as a Benoni, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. Get my rook off the long diagonal. It's a practical opening. I mean, I think the hippopotamus for black, it's probably something, you know, you can play in blitz or 1-minute chess. You just play the moves universally, and you wouldn't have to really think too much. I mean, you have to be ready for any kind of like rook pawn advances to meet them with like a6. But you don't want to be caught off guard, so to speak. But still, it's so hard to play with white. Not really sure what to do, you know. It's interesting when you look at really old master games. Steinitz, when he dealt with like the hippopotamus type of thing, double fianchetto, how he would react. Players from 100 years ago. Much different than me, probably. b4, interesting, but it allows my knight to be exploited, unprotected by c5. Kind of wanted to play that. I'm just waiting to see what he does. This is his first hippo. Tushar never played the hippopotamus against me. One day I should actually figure out how to play against this opening correctly. But now b4. I don't know. If b4, c5 loosens my knight on c3, I don't know what to do with that. I really don't have a plan here. a4, a5. I mean, anybody can play the hippopotamus and use no time. You just put your pieces on those squares and don't think. Maybe I have to play like d5 or something. At least d5 is not a bad move. It's a little inflexible. But I was running out of ideas and I only have a minute left. In the past, I've played g3 in that position. It's not like I have no experience ever playing this position. I've probably played g3 and bishop g2. But I remember that the engine didn't like that. Like, it didn't like g3. So I sat here thinking about what should I do instead of g3, and then it's incredibly hard to find a good move. I mean, I looked at bishop g5. It doesn't seem great. Now knight e5. We probably don't want to exchange pieces. It's still not that bad for black. It's just basically like a weird Benoni where he hasn't played c5. The rest of the pieces are set up in Benoni style. It's amazing how difficult it is. I mean, I know like some people who play this like exclusively in blitz. You know, that's all they do. Like every single game with black especially. It's good for 1 minute, I'm sure. Sometimes they don't castle as well. You can play like king f8, king g8 instead of castling in h6. Okay, if I was to play h4 in the opening, perhaps black should consider not castling after h6 or something like that. What? Simul's are almost like London simultans. What does that mean? What is a London simultan? I mean where everyone plays the London system? Or what? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, subscribing. Thanks for the cheers from Don't X Me and San Diego. It's a new week here. Now Too Sharp, when he starts to think, he really starts to think. He uses a lot of time on long thinks. I'm kind of the same. You know, I like to take like a long think once or twice during the game. But it's really objectively the worst possible opening in the world, you know, to like have to play quickly. It's so closed, there's a lot of strategic considerations, so many pawns on the board. There's nothing flowing. It's extremely hard to find the best move quickly. So yeah, I like c5, and I basically have two options here, I think. Actually, I don't know if I have two options. I mean, knight b3, he just plays it like a modern Benoni, and then he's got b5, so I think I have to take en passant. I think I just have to take en passant here and play it like a Sicilian. It's basically a Sicilian now. It looks like it just looks like a weird Paulson or something. My position not too impressive. I think black's play is excellent. Man, he's so fast. It's unreal. And such well coordinated pieces. Can't believe this was a hippo. His position is so perfect. I would have played b4 anyway, so. pretty hard to keep up with him. Extremely strong play. Knight h5. Whoa. I'm hanging a pawn. That's good. I just lost a pawn for nothing. Wonderful. About to lose another one. Damn, dude. I guess he can't really win because he can't get his king out here objectively. But it was a really impressive game by Black. I was lost on the clock, lost on position when I dropped the b4 pawn. Black is just better here positionally. Really impressive game by Black. Anyway, okay, long game. Go back to our challengers. We've got about an hour left. I don't play enough fast blitz, and I'm still like panicking when I get into time pressure. In the days when I was playing tons of 5 and 3 minute, I would have been much more calm. But it seems like lately I sort of freak out and panic a lot when I'm in short of time because I'm just not used to being in that situation. If I played, which I need to play more 5 and 3 minute, but I don't want to do it on the stream. I just like to play like off stream 5 and 3 minute. Maybe today I'll have some time later on. Need to practice more. Fat President playing the b3 double fianchetto. I want to neutralize the bishop pair, and the kingside fianchetto seems like a solid approach. What is Ivanchuk syndrome? When you're inconsistent, you mean? No, he's just a great player. Ivanchuk syndrome. What is that? I'm thinking, should I trade bishops or keep them on the board here? This is what I'm not really sure about. White's setup seems like he really, really knows what he's doing here. Maybe I should play c5. This is not my normal approach in this type of position. I don't know much about Fat President. It's a pretty new account. He started playing on the stream here recently. But he's playing it like it's Trompowsky, which seems good. Normally I wouldn't do this with knight c6, but I'm trying something new. My normal setup is like c6, but it's kind of passive for black. So I figured, let's try something a little more aggressive on the queen side. I wasn't committed to c6. I mean, he could play c4 if he wants to. But realistically, the structure with like c6, e6, and d5 it's basically kind of passive, and I don't have a forward plan after that. With this way, I mean, at least I can play like c4 type of breaks. Okay, Ivanchuk, yeah, I mean, he's crazy in a good way. Constantly playing for a win. What we really want to do is play c4, but what does white want to do? If I just keep grabbing more space, give me space, space. It doesn't seem like he has a plan either. I mean, 95 is natural. I don't mind just taking. I could also let him take. Now we have a decision to make. But I think space is space. Doesn't leave us with a lot of breaks, though. We've got the c4, but it's hard to execute that. Again, Fat President seems... I don't know, he seems like a very mature kind of player. Not a mature name, but he has a mature style. The knight has to go. I might as well get rid of it now, I guess. It's a quandary for him, though. Like, does he want to improve his pawn structure but block his bishop on d2 or b2? See, it's not easy to decide. But ultimately, the c4 break, very difficult for me to achieve. But his play is arguably perfect, strategically. In last game, he played very strategically against me as well. Something of a strategist. Chess Boxing, Linares 1991. What? H4. Where did that come from? So h4 is like a holding move. It looks aggressive, but I think he's really just locking down everything. Trying to create like an impenetrable fortress. Where he can play a position where he has no risk or something. Like it's just minimum draw. stopped c4. Very strategic player. Hard for me to gain an advantage. I mean, I guess I could consider taking on e5, but that fixes his pawn structure. Maybe not a big deal. I mean, my idea is that my minor pieces might be better than his minor pieces in this structure with all these pawns on the board. But it's still extremely hard to make progress. If he goes in the opposite color bishop ending, he's just an itty bit worse. With the pawn defect and my bishop having a better diagonal. Still, I don't know if that's realistic that I can win that, though. It's probably just a draw. I mean, my setup is basically a very safe setup. My bishop h3 is another safe move. I guess I could play f6, but I'm going to lose that pawn with check. Knight f5, takes. This is realistically a draw. I can't take with the g pawn. I have to take with the e pawn. If d4 c4, well, I could take with the knight here. It's worth considering. Just to keep the pieces on the board. Pizzas. What objectively white is what is equal? Why is rook e5? Now I practically have c4. Yeah, why don't I have c4? My a5 pawn is hanging. Still don't have that. C4 break. Yeah, he tries his only break. At least this leaves his pawn structure questionable. go for it here. Can't go there. No, he went the wrong way with the king. If you played king g4, I had some issues probably. Still, he's like basically on the verge of hanging on here. It's kind of scary technique with no time left. You can like instantaneously find the right move. It's just a draw. All right, interesting game. Looks like a standard sort of Trompowsky. But I was most impressed by his play and time pressure. This is not such an easy ending to draw, but he managed to draw easily. Like here's the best move, g4. Didn't hesitate to play that instantly. And this is a lot of... This really requires a lot of calculation. Again, he reacts to the best possible move. With like 4 seconds left, best possible move. King f3. I hesitated with this, it's okay. Then rook a1, h5, rook takes a4, h6, rook check here. He made what I thought was a mistake with king e4, and it's the best move according to Stockfish. I would have played king g4 to meet rook g8 check with rook g5 and stop rook h3. I don't know. Now the computer is not sure. It started to like my move better with king g4. I thought that was more natural. Fat President, looks like he played a nearly perfect game, as did I. King e4, rook h3, and then this move, which is like a miracle out of the blue. I thought I'm just winning. But f5 saves everything. He's got 5 seconds left. He's like a master increment player or something. We both made 1 or 2 inaccuracies. It's like it couldn't have just been written, like the script couldn't have been better for white here. Just I've got this outside passed pawn, but it doesn't work. Maybe I could try pushing it here. a4. I didn't even calculate this. It's apparently like a draw anyway. Crazy. All right, vodka drunk 7+3. His increment play is excellent. I would have probably panicked in White's position. I think White's position was much harder to play than Black's there. You know, he's got to worry about these pawn breaks and calculate, and I'm basically playing c4 with no risk, with an outside a pawn. But I think the most startling move was g4, because it looks like he's creating a weakness on the h file. You know, most people would have been reluctant to do that, but Stockfish is pointing out that it's really the only active move for him. You know, so that was impressive. Sponsored by Dvoretsky. What are you talking about? What is this? Knight d7. Knight d7 is a strange move. What is this guy's rating now? He's 2194. He moves super fast. He's 2194 in classical, 2074 in rapid, 1800 blitz, 1800 bullet. I don't know what knight d7 is about. That's a very strange move. Why do you want to put your knight on an inferior square? It seems odd. I think I practically have to play this exchange. Vodka drunk. You know what's funny though, vodka drunk? Someone else played this way against me. I think it was in the simul. I wonder who Vodka Drunk is. I bet they have multiple accounts, because he just doesn't have too many games. 95. Colin, what was it? The name of the guy from Highlander. There's an account here. Who's the main character from Highlander? Connor. There's a player, Connor something, who used this against me in the simul. The same exact idea of putting the knight on d7 and knight b6 and a fianchetto Grunfeld. You're not Connor, are you? Connor's B account. Vodka Drunk just makes instantaneous moves. Alright, let's keep the knight contained on b6. Connor McLeod, right? Yeah, okay. I figured it out. I did it on my own without looking. That's what happens when you get over the hill. You start forgetting things. Very strange plan of development for Black. But he moves almost instantaneously every single move. Like, watch this. 644. He has almost as much time as he started with. Now, I wanted to play bishop a3, but I start to run into some sort of problems. It seems like he's too active or something. The dude already has like 33% against me, which is like master strength. I put him around 2200. He also dominated in 2 blitz tournaments. Second place in 1 or maybe 2. Moves instantaneously, yet he's 1800. So that doesn't make sense. How can you be 1800 in bullet and blitz, yet dominate two blitz tournaments that I organized? It's inconsistent. Doesn't seem possible. And he can just move instantaneously at will with like excellent moves. But he's here for every stream now, but he doesn't talk. He doesn't interact in the stream at all. Which I would appreciate if we would know a little bit more about the players in the stream, who are regulars especially. Vodka Drunk doesn't interact. But he's able to play the entire game in 1 minute, you know, when he's 1800. Doesn't seem really normal. This is a very strange setup for black. This putting the knight on b6. But yet black seems very active here. He definitely doesn't drink. Just everything is like so systematic, except for the time he blundered bishop takes f7 against me on move 4 in the opening. Otherwise, his play is extremely systematic. I mean, I would liken him to anything but drunk. Okay, now I have what? Queen d2, f3. Yeah, but there's not an easy solution here. His play is so fast, I don't have time to think about my moves. Queen d2, maybe. That has its issues. Just I have to get my pieces developed. You know, where am I going to put them? I don't understand this knight d7, knight b6. He plays it like it's a system. But I've never seen anything like that in my life. Now he played knight g4. I honestly thought knight e4 was even better. It seems like he's fighting for the e5 square. But his play is just so crazy fast for someone who's 1800, you know, in blitz. Why wouldn't he be stronger in blitz if he's so fast? I don't quite get that. Should be 5 e6. He's going queen d7 next with equality. You know, it's like I have to play literally perfect moves to have anything, and he's like twice as fast as me. I don't know. It's a really weird account that's kind of bugging me. You know 1FM who won games, what? When he came drunk to games? He was without alcohol? And when he was without alcohol, he lost to 2,000 plus players. Oh. Yeah, sure. I mean, if you're really dependent on alcohol, yeah, I can understand that. Look at this move, rook c6. Is that a normal move? Not really. I mean, that move in itself deserves, like... That move, I can't even begin to explain how strange that move is, dude. And you played it, like, in 20 seconds. I mean, so it's based on this insane calculation, like, bishop takes b6, and sacrificing the d5 pawn, then getting it back. Like, that's pretty complex, dude, to play in, like, 10 seconds. Why wouldn't you just play e6, you know? Rook c6, putting your rook in the diagonal of the bishop on g2. I don't know, this account is just too weird. I don't really want to play them anymore. It's just too strange. It doesn't even feel human. I can't really put my finger on it, but it doesn't play like a human. That's all I can say. It's not like playing the best moves every time, but there's something inhuman about the way that Vodka Drunk plays. Inhuman. non-human style, like playing with your iPhone or something. I don't know. And the time use. His time management is strange too, for someone who's 1800 in blitz. People cheat all the time, but luckily not too much lately. Because I'm a streamer, you know, they want to like, oh, I beat an IM, and like want to see E5. This is fine for black probably. Very tactical. I'm lucky if I'm even equal here. Maybe could it be a mistake? He's gonna have to sacrifice the exchange or something? I don't know. Even here he has a lot of compensation. This is another move that would require some calculation, I would think. I think some people like to kind of mess around and use computers to as kind of training, you know what I mean? So they're not really like trying to be total cheaters, but they think it's like a training tool to improve their game. This variation would have required some calculation, some actual spending time to think about, but he made it like very quickly. Rook takes e5, e4. I don't know what's going on. It's complicated. It looks like black's always okay. The way he plays with the pieces and not the pawns is another weird thing that's very computer-like. But he certainly doesn't play the best moves. He just kind of mixes and matches and plays some good moves and some bad moves and some weird moves. But I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but it just doesn't play like a human being to me, this account. It seems very odd. I think that people cheat for various reasons, but I always get criticized for only talking about how people cheat, but I don't like to kick it under the rug, you know. It's a problem that we're facing in online chess. Vodka Drunk, it's such a strange... You get just a creepy feeling playing against him. Like, the moves are... I don't know. It's not really like a human player. Like he's somehow a hybrid. Anyway, I apologize if I'm wrong, Vodka Drunk, but you don't really interact with us here, so I don't know much about you. But the rating is strangely inconsistent as well. 1800 in blitz and like 2200 in long chess. F5, F4. Now that's some kind of sacrifice. Rook takes e4. Did I miss something there? No. See, after rook takes e4, bishop takes e4, f takes e4, I don't have rook c8 anymore. That wouldn't work anyway, would it? So he has just rook takes e4 here. Bishop takes e4, pawn takes e4. Then I'm having a hard time finding a move for white. I may just be lost. Yeah. Maybe I can just resign here. I feel better about the game if I just resigned. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. It's just too weird. So anyway, check out this game. This is the last time I'm going to play him. Let's check the Senate pawn loss for black. It's not perfect play. but there's something creepy about it. So whatever. All right. Let's move on. Come on, come on. Casual 6+3. Ow, do you have 100 games, dude? But I don't want to repeatedly play people if they're cheating, you know? So I have to kind of address it. Tushar. I'm not going to continue to play that account, you know, and I have to make a decision about that in the future. It's just too weird. I'm not going to play Vodka Drunk anymore. His play is too unnatural and not like a human being. Alright, G3, Knight F7, let's go. I also can't concentrate if I think my opponent is cheating. Yeah, I'm not going to play that guy anymore. It's become too much of a problem. This is a new account. I usually like to play people who have 100 games. He barely has 100 games, but it's cool. Apparently I was okay there, but as I said, he didn't play perfect moves, but good enough, you know. You just have to have, you know, just not make blunders. That's all you need to do to beat strong players. Chess is easy. Just, you don't have to play perfectly, just don't make any blunders, and you're going to score really, really well. You block people who beat you, Tushar? Okay, that I don't understand. That's strange, dude. Bishop B2. But I will like definitely not continue to play anyone who I deem as suspicious. It's a waste of time. This is a question as to where to put my queen. I gave up playing computers basically around 2002. I used to play computers for training, but they became so strong it actually hurts my game. You don't always learn if you lose. Playing computers can actually hurt your game. It beats you down to the point where you lose all your self-confidence. It's extremely damaging as a player to play against engines, I think. You just lose any kind of self-confidence. It actually changes your style to the point where you start to play more passively than you should against other human beings. So there's a number of different effects of that I think are very negative. Okay, it's really childish, this idea of blocking someone because they beat you. You can do what you want, but I'm trying to make friends here on lichess. I don't like blocking people at all. Even if I think they're a computer, I probably still won't block them on lichess. Just like people who are trolls and like attack me or something. Alright, knight on c to e5, and we avoid exchanges here in a position where we, well, technically have a stronger center. I was going to say we have more space, but we don't really have more space. Yeah, I don't really want to trade pieces like that. I can come back here. I don't mind if you take this, though. I'll take back with the pawn, increase my central pawn majority. Come on, come on. The video rate. Yeah, everybody says that, but I haven't changed anything in my settings. Maybe Twitch changed something? I don't know. My OBS remains the same. I have not altered the settings at all, so I don't really know what to do. I mean, if I didn't change anything, I can't change it back, you know. My video looks good. If you're at 1080, it should be fine. I'm watching myself right now, and it looks fine to me. So, some people were mentioning this earlier. Black is basically not doing anything here, but we need a way to make progress. I'm concerned that if I advance my e-pawn, it becomes like my center is a little bit overextended, so it's not so easy. I think I need some sort of pressure on the queen side. Maybe knight a5. Knight a5 and knight d4 and possible piece sacrifices at c6 on his pawn chain look like a real idea. My whole stream is on 6 FPS. It's extremely slow. But nothing has been changed. Whoa. Queen b6. Damn, that's a strong move. I didn't even consider that. Alright. Queen b6 is an extremely strong maneuver. Professional, Capablanca style. Maybe I can trade queens with queen a5. That looks like the only idea. If I didn't have that, I could actually be worse here. That was an awesome maneuver by come on, come on. Queen b6, queen a6. Queen a6, an extremely good square in this type of structure in the London system, or whatever you want to call it. The Mutton Dagger said, it looks like an encoding issue at lower quality. I don't really understand. I didn't... Dude, this is a subtle maneuver, dude. I mean, I'm sorry, but most people on lichess at 15... He's not 1500, dude. He has no rating. He's 1700. But most people don't know that maneuver, you know, to play queen b6, queen a6. It's extremely good here, because I can't attack his queen on a6 with anything. Although, objectively, there weren't too many moves he has there after knight a5. I was hoping for something passive, like queen c7 or rook b8. But we are still on pace to land some kind of tactics on the pawn chain. And knight d4 on his bishop on f5. White should be a lot better here. I have knight d4 and knight b5 now. And that still probably doesn't work. We could consider sacrificing a piece on c6 for a number of pawns. Interesting concept. It looks a little bit exaggerated. So I don't know how to make progress. I just don't seem to have a way to win. Knight b5, rook c8, he just goes back. This isn't so bad for black. I would have preferred just playing bishop h7, but it's not so bad. He gives me his bishop. Slightly worsening his pawn chain, but it's his bad bishop. It's not that bad for black. He's okay still. It's hard for me to improve. Meanwhile, my knight can get hit. That's okay. We can increase some pressure. Maybe a3, just stopping bishop b4. Everyone is tough. No, dude, I mean, you don't play people with like less than 100 rated games. I mean, it's just asking for trouble. It doesn't matter what chess site you go on, it's going to be an issue anywhere. But I think that lichess does the best job of any site. Just sent me an email. Hate mail? You have hate mail. Alright, knight d7 now, and I can play bishop h3 to play for e4 maybe. We loosen up his position, the two bishops start to look good. But he has knight c5. Okay, that's not so big deal. This is protected. White has a good game. Everything is working. I'm still not winning material yet. Black's pieces aren't harmonious. You know, this is a topic that isn't really covered too much in the chess literature, but okay, generally coordination of the pieces is very important. But it's like a sort of spacing of the pieces that becomes the issue. Knight takes b3, I guess I'm just going to have to deal with that. We'll just have to move our rook. I mean, I could play b4, but is it even worth it? I'm going to lose a tempo anyway. Huh. b4, knight b3. His knight is almost trapped in that line. But if I play b4, his knight gets a good square on a4 as well. So that was a very cagey defense. Actually, I also have takes on g6. I guess rook c3 could be an attempt to win material, but it drives his knight to a very, very good square. So I don't know what the best move is there. I have bishop e5 winning the exchange threatened. His queenside pawns could become dangerous if he has this majority the hut. So we've got that. Now I just want a piece. That's good. He was under a lot of pressure, though. I think he had to lose material. But not that much. He lost a whole piece. Would have been better. It would have been better to... Let's see. Well, there is no good move. And this is just a clear exchange. There's really no way. Plus I'm threatening f6. Pawn takes pawn. There's no way to solve all of Black's problems here. He played a little passively in the opening. After queen takes a5, knight takes a5, rook c7, he's okay. But knight d4, I liked bishop somewhere in this position. Can't we just play like bishop g6? So I have this sacrifice, knight takes b7. Okay. Knight takes b7, rook takes b7, knight takes c6, bishop moves. I don't know, you know, I guess I take and then I win back the exchange on a3. What do we end up with? 2 pawns and a rook for 2 pieces. Even this is not so clear. I mean, white is better, but not so simple. Guys, I think we're back to like Acerbate. When did Acerbate donate that one? I guess you had already donated that. 1 bit, thank you. Alright guys, last game for today, it looks like. Unless it's super fast. Am I missing a subscriber? No, okay. Mastermind 14. Yeah, right, Tushar, you're very kind. You're very kind. I agree to draws, quick draws too much. If I didn't do that, I'd probably still be 2400. But I've been having too many quick draws lately, including yesterday. In the spring, I had a tournament in Zalakaros where I had 8 draws and 1 loss against Kovalenko. That was really ridiculous. But I wasn't really playing for quick draws. I mean, I had some fighting games in that tournament. Too many draws. Okay, A3. What do we do? I tried C5 against him before. I've tried G6. I mean, obviously you can play D5, but I don't really like the Queen's Gambit that much. I'm running out of other ideas. Okay, B6 would transpose to some sort of Queen's Indian, but I think it's a good one. I don't know, C5 is the most dynamic. Now, I tried to play B5 at an earlier game, I think. It's a Blumenfeld with A3 instead of knight F3. Why not? Need to play a little faster. It's 5+3. I don't know. I did this against him like a couple months ago when Koto Amatsukami started playing in one of my streams, but I can't recall how the game went. I think this is probably like one of my first reactions playing B5. Sacking a pawn. Okay. Sometimes these sort of things lead to traps based on the A rook hanging here, but unfortunately, he has rook a2 all the time, so we can't do like knight takes d5 like in the Benko. You would have that trap. b3 would be a weird Benko position. Knight takes d5 and then queen f6, winning the rook on a1. So I don't know. I mean, on bishop b7, he could just play like knight c3 even. No, but it seems like I should take on d5. All right. If you had fighting spirit, I need more fighting spirit. Well, yesterday my teammate Paul Petran, who's an old warhorse, Paul was like close to 2500 in his prime. He was one of our only wins, and he's like 75. Paul is like, he put me on the spot. He was like, why don't you, play chess? We had traveled 150 kilometers, 200 kilometers, whatever, over 200 kilometers to play. But the thing was, it's a team championship. I don't want to lose and cost our team like the chance to qualify for the first division. I didn't know how to explain it to Paul in Hungarian properly, but basically, yesterday's draw was kind of understandable, but I have had too many draws against really low rated players, so okay, here I'm not sure. I think I just made the wrong move. Maybe I should have played bishop b7 straight away. This was a mistake. Bishop b7 straight away, he has no good way to defend the pawn. Now after g3, he might even have a good position. That was a serious inaccuracy. Now it just looks like some kind of weird fianchetto Benko. It might even be good for white. Missed the boat with bishop b7. Time plus money. Those are good reasons. Time equals money. Yeah, this is absolutely the best. It's like a standard Benko line. They recommend this. Double fianchetto with knight h3, knight f4. Koto Amatsukami, which is hard for me to say. He seems to understand the value of his
very strange system here with a3 that it gives him this transposition to... I missed the boat, man, with bishop b7. Can't believe I did that. Why bother to play a6 now? Well, it might be useful. Then I can meet a4 with rook b8 and keep the structure smooth. Wow, he's instantly on that. Also bishop b7. He's so fast. I could get my knight to d3. That would be interesting. Just no time to think anymore. I hate being rushed. I guess that's why I get in time pressure so much. I just really hate to be rushed. I hate it when people disturb me when I'm like eating my food. You know how some people eat like wolves? I like to enjoy it and sort of savor it and eat slowly. Once I went to this tournament in Australia and I had to stay with this family who were putting me up by the organizers. And it was weird because I always took my time and ate slowly, but the whole family ate like wolves. It was crazy. It was very awkward. Like they hadn't been fed in like a week. Alright, anyway, totally off topic. But I'm just trying to understand the origins of my tendency to get into time pressure. Whoa. Alright. Rook c8 is sort of weird. Time pressure origins. I'm just going to have to start making random moves at one point, which I really, really hate. This guy's ridiculously fast. Can I do this? I guess it basically amounts to a pawn sacrifice. Do I go g4 or d3? Probably last game for today, guys. Yeah, I mean, I guess my practical results aren't what they could be, but I don't really know what to do about it. Okay, several of my teammates have told me to stop making draws quickly. There's also the issue of fear of losing. It's very, very problematic if you're afraid to lose. What just happened here? The fear of losing cannot get larger than the desire to win, because at that point it starts to negatively affect your results. Complicated, this position. Okay, he's taking on d6. I take on g2, knight e3 check. It's one exchange for another. This is a strong guy. That bishop on b2. I'm just taking here on this, and it looks good for black. Still not that easy. But position is more important than time. That's my philosophy. Though sometimes it doesn't hold. All right. He's got rook d6. Still should be good for me. I'm gonna grab his bishop. My bishops are like Ginsu knives. Ginsu is not a Japanese knife, it's just a made-up marketing term, as far as I know. There were these commercials on TV when I was a little kid. Sharpest knives available. That's how these bishops are. They're like the sharpest available knives on the market. Yeah, I thought so. But I have knight here. Now he's knight f6 check. Ah, whatever. I can give up one of my Ginsu knives. We're just up material here. We're up material. Very dominant position. He doesn't seem to care about the material element. Actually, my a6 pawn is hanging, for whatever that's worth. I do have this. Kind of a small problem. That should win material. Material. Alright, that's it, guys. I gotta go for today. I'm better tactically, I guess, than I give myself credit for, but oftentimes I don't put myself in situations where I can really take advantage of it. Thanks for watching today. I'll be back tomorrow. We've got an evening stream tomorrow, 7 p.m. I think we're going to do rapid chess this week. 7+2 rapid. I'll check my email. What else? 7+2 rapid. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. 2 hours. Viewer tournament. Be here. Thanks so much, guys, for playing and watching. I hope it was instructive. And that's it. Wednesday we'll have another morning stream. So we usually stream 6 days a week, guys. Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday evening, Sunday simul we had last night. I didn't really talk about the Sunday simul last night. That went fine. 30 simul for 21 players, basically. I think I lost 3. Lots of draws, which is my specialty. I'm a nice guy. That's my problem. I'm not mean enough, you know. I don't want to beat people that badly. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Anyways, I'm like the you know, the Incredible Hulk, you know, David Banner. Just don't make me angry, you know. But seriously, we'll be back tomorrow night with the viewer stream. Soltigo, our moderator, will be here. Thanks a lot, guys, for the bits donations, and we will think about 7+2 rapid. Maybe get some practice today and play the viewer tournament tomorrow night. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. Thanks for subscribing. I will see you. Bruce, sorry. David Banner. Who's David Banner? Bruce Banner? Are you serious? Flucro? Why do I think David Banner? Wasn't his name David Banner? Okay, am I crazy? Anyway, that's the mystery for today. What was the Incredible Hulk's real name? I'll see you guys with the answer tomorrow. Bye-bye.